Hey, how's it going, everybody? This is Corey Lee with the Priesthood Podcast, coming with episode 5 today. So I did episode 3 and 4 in the same day, and that's pretty much because they were the same subject matter, and because I was pretty happy about the the subject matter that I just couldn't wait another day to be able to get that stuff out. So we are here with episode 5, and episode 5 is just me basically telling you about how I really believe that something real serious is getting ready to go down. And this is all pretty much how I see it, right? And this ain't just how I see it, but we all know, like it is no secret that something real crazy is getting ready to happen in this world, specifically because of what we all see going on right now. And one of the things that God has really been dealing with me about is religious doctrines of man coloring my overall belief system about God and his word. And I'm talking about things that are not true, not things that are not all the way true. And things that can turn into salvation issues all based on what you take too seriously or what you put over and above the knowledge of God. And one of them things that I wanted to touch on was the pre-tribulation rapture, the antichrist, the end of days, things like that, and the overall subject of the real Israelites. Okay. I had no intention of ever even wanting to talk so much about that subject. It just kind of hit me like a freight train. I was getting ready to move on to something else. And then here come episode 3. And right before I could even make it, it's like all of a sudden I just got dealt with about that. Now, let me keep it all the way real with y'all. All right. So I'm not one of them kind of people that want to believe the Jews are black. Okay. And I don't even like calling them Jews because the word Jew has been heavily associated with something else. I'm not one of them kind of people that need biblical Hebrews to be black people. I don't need that to be true. I was willing to follow Christ regardless of what it was. And so that's kind of one of the reasons why it mattered to me a whole lot, because I'm like, wait a minute. Now, I used to be one of them people that'll sit there on the sidelines and be like, oh, y'all all deceive. Okay, so if it is true, then why do it matter? Or then I'd be like, okay, yeah, I do believe that there's some truth to it, but hey, like it ain't a big deal. The only thing that matter is whether or not you get into heaven, right? And I do think whether or not you enter into the kingdom is the most important thing. I do. But that's like saying all the end time prophecies don't matter because salvation is the only thing that matters most. That's like saying that everything else in the Bible, except whether or not you get into the kingdom, don't matter. That includes all the prophecies about the coming of Christ, all the prophecies about his second coming, all the prophecies about the Antichrist, all the prophecies about the book of Revelation and how stuff gonna work out, all the riders on the horses in the time of Revelation. Like that's like saying everything else but whether or not you get into heaven just don't matter. And it seemed like every time it come to this subject, all of a sudden the only thing that actually matter is, did you receive the gospel? And it's like, look, like the gospel matter over and above everything. But I believe that everything else that is true are are mechanisms that involve how you believe, what you believe, will you continue to believe? Like you need the truth about everything, not just the gospel. Like, don't let people deceive you and make you believe, whoa, well, why don't you just talk about just the gospel? All we want to hear is just the gospel. And it's like, okay, well, if you know the gospel, then why is what I'm saying matter to you? Like, how come you need me to talk to you about what you know already? So, like, okay, like maybe some people don't know the gospel, right? Like, I get it. But it was a time in my life when it wasn't through the gospel alone that I did receive the gospel. It started with something, then it turned into the gospel. Like, that's like you going fishing with no bait, no hook, no line, no pole, and somehow you manage to catch fish. No net, no nothing. It's a lot of different tools you have to use in order to catch a fish. Like, it ain't just because you stand on the water and want one. And that's what people be trying to assume. Like, oh, just tell them about the gospel. Look, I don't know a lot of people who have never received the gospel that don't know the gospel. Okay. Like, even people who don't think that it's important to get right with God right now, because as long as they be a good person, then they can get into heaven. And all of that other stuff is really just like, kind of pointless. Even them people know the gospel. When I was living my best life in sin, and I don't mean that that was my best life, I'm just saying that's what I thought I was doing. I even knew the gospel then. It's not about whether or not people know the gospel. But what really matters is do you know the truth, period, about everything? Like, do you know enough truth that's going to bring you to the gospel? Because there are some things in people's minds that block them from being able to take the gospel they do know seriously. It's like roadblocks that people have about things that they either don't know, don't want to know, don't care to know, don't even know how to know because they don't even know what to call it to even know how to know. It's like people be having roadblocks inside of them that make it hard for them to see the gospel as the most important thing in their life. And then you got people that believe that they do know the gospel, or I mean, you have people that believe that they did receive the gospel just because they know about it. And then they go the rest of their life living for the world, living for the flesh, and then they never get in the kingdom because they thought they were already in, all because they mentally ascended to being a kingdom citizen, all because they know the gospel, but never really accept it. You know what I'm saying? What happened with me before I really received the gospel is I was on a truth search. I was on a truth search for years. Ever since I found out about the Illuminati and stuff when I was like maybe 16 years old, and I was trying to take my rap career seriously. And then all of a sudden, my stepdad, he was showing me these DVDs he had called A Damn Shame. And it was this DVD series, and it was this guy pointing out all the Satanism behind the music industry and stuff like that. And I'm like, why are you showing me this? I still want a record deal and you gonna show me this? Come on. Like, the moment I start trying to take my rap career and stuff like that seriously, now you just gonna throw a monkey wrench in the game with, hey, like, you do know you gotta serve the devil in order to be there. I'm like, man, come on. But I still, I still wanted to be in the music industry. Even after finding out all of that, I still wanted to be in the music industry because I thought that maybe I can be the one smart enough, to just pretend like I'm, I'm play ball with everybody and then make me some money and then get out of the game, right? Like, I thought I was a wise guy. And a lot of people like that. Like it's a lot of rappers right now who know instinctively that if they want to make it in the industry, eventually they gonna have to sell their soul. And they think that maybe I could be the one smart enough to make a little money and then get out of the game before it get that far. And it never happened like that. Everybody think like that. Everybody think, well, as long as I stay independent, then I ain't got to worry about all that. But nah, 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 nah. It don't work like that either, buddy. For as long as you earn a living promoting sin, you are selling your soul. It really don't matter because eventually your sins are going to find you out and you going to somehow in some way, shape or form be a part of that nonsense anyway. You are not better than Satan without Christ. Like you are not smarter than the devil. Like even with Christ, you ain't smarter than the devil is. And I'm just talking about, you know, mental smarts, right? Like I'm talking about 2 plus 2 kind of smarts. I ain't talking about smart enough to fear God and obey him, right? Like that was a dumb decision he made, but a lot of people make that dumb decision and they never see it as a dumb decision, you know? But I've been on a truth search since then. One thing will lead to another, then it'll lead to another, then it'll lead to another. The next thing you know, I'm all the way down a rabbit hole somewhere. And eventually that led me to leaving the secular music world behind entirely back in what 2014, 15, I believe. And I had to announce to everybody that I quit rapping. Everybody was like, "What? That's crazy. Not you. Like, come on, man." I'm like, "Yeah, it's just something in my soul that just won't let me do this no more." Like, and I don't even think it's about the rap. I think it's about hip hop culture. And this is all I know is hip hop and hip hop culture. I don't know nothing else. I don't know gospel music. I don't know country. I don't know rock and roll. I don't know anything else but how to be a hip hop artist. And because of that, I have to just leave music alone, period. All because that's all I know about music. And so everything that I had in my mind about music was directly tied to hip hop culture because like that's all the music I listened to, is all the music I made, and it's all the music I knew personally. So, and long story short, that eventually led me to finding out about the Book of Enoch. After getting too heavily involved in conspiracy theories and all the evil truths about the world and stuff like that, I just so happened to be floating through the comments on a video that wasn't even related to the Book of Enoch. And somebody was talking about the Book of Enoch. And that wasn't even the first time I heard about it. I heard it referenced every now and then. And this was around the time when people was still talking about crap. This was around the time when that guy Infinite Waters had barely got big on YouTube. He was barely big on YouTube at this time. And I remember I used to watch a lot of Infinite Waters videos, and I used to get into that whole subject of trying to learn how to open my third eye. And I used to get into all that mysticism and the deeper things of astrology. But for some odd reason, I could just never go through with getting too deep into it. Every time I started trying to figure out how to, do all that third eye stuff, I would get sick and end up at the hospital. And it was like years later, I eventually found the Book of Enoch. It's like when I say I went everywhere looking for truth, I literally went everywhere for real. And it's like every time it would come down the third eye and chakras and all of that new age stuff, I would get sick, go to the hospital, and then me being in the hospital for almost a week would cause me to forget about it. And then my life would start over again. And then at some point I get back into it again. Then I get sick and go to the hospital again. And I never really thought that I was getting sick and going to the hospital because God was trying to stop me from getting too involved in something like that. I never thought that that's the reason that it was. And it was a reason I was going to the hospital, like an actual reason why. And that was just from being a pothead. Like, but like I had smoked all my life. It just only seemed like the more I started researching and studying new age is when I would get sick from just smoking like too much. Like I smoked too much my whole life. It's just as soon as I started getting back involved with new age and trying to figure out how to open my third eye, like everybody be trying to tell you about and stuff, like I was really trying to figure this out, like for real. I really wanted to know. I took it dead seriously. Like I'm just one of them kind of people. Like once I get into something, I will literally take it dead serious. Like I'll be the one to do what everybody sit around and talk about. Like, no, I want to see this work. You know what I mean? And it was the same way when I came to Christ. I'm like, no, I'm sick of reading about miracles and stuff like that. We just read about that stuff. Like, no, I need to see this. I'm sick of everybody sitting around pretending to have the Holy Spirit just because they feel good in church, and everybody pretending to have the Holy Spirit just because they feel goosebumps. Like, no, I want to know that I know that I know that I know that this thing really came upon me like that. Like, I need to see this. Like, I don't want to just be filling in the blanks and hoping that's what that is. Like, I need to know this. I don't want to be one of them kind of people that's inventing speaking in tongues and claiming that that's the Holy Ghost. Like, no, not me. Not me. And the reason why I didn't want that to be me is because I grew up in church environments like that. I was one of them people speaking in tongues, and I am full of the devil. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like in church, I'm a man of God. We talk in tongues, yada, 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 yada. Outside of church, full of the devil. And because I came up that way, when I came to Christ, I didn't want to transfer that over to here. I'm like, no, this need to be for real. Cause I didn't seen too much for fake, even in my own self. I'm not looking around at nobody else and talking about nothing else fake I seen other people do. I'm saying I seen myself be like this. I seen myself juggle two different codes of conduct. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm not about to be like that. I don't want to be that person. And so I'm getting a little off topic here, but I think a lot of this stuff matter. But after I done went down a rabbit hole of conspiracy theory, somebody just kept talking about the book of Enoch. I'm like, what the heck is the book of Enoch? Like, let me figure out what this is. And so I got an audio book of the book of Enoch because I was a big audiobook person. I used to study a lot of Robert Greene audiobooks. And Robert Greene is the author of the 48 Laws of Power. And I had pretty much every book he wrote. And I used to study them on audio every day, like for hours. I would always have a headphone in. Every time I was at work, I would work 5 days a week, like 9 hours a day. And that's all I would listen to because I was searching for something and I didn't know what that really was. And I just thought that the more knowledge I had, the better off I would be. And it don't really turn into that because you can have knowledge all day long. You can know about all the lies in the world all day long. but that still don't change you. You still got to deal with who you are no matter what you learned or know. That still don't change you, you know? Unless that knowledge about something is something that God specifically revealed to you that you can walk in power with. Like it's a wonder why everybody know about all the poison they putting in food and all the evil going on in the world, but yet they never become a different person because of what they know. Like never really changed them. It just changed how they see life. And that's just it. It's like, yeah, I know about the Illuminati. Yeah, but you still listen to the music that's made by it. Oh, I know about the Illuminati, but yeah, but you still spend your money to go watch the movies that's promoting this stuff. Oh, I know about the Illuminati. Yeah, but you still voting. Oh, I know about all the Satanism and stuff like that. Yeah, but you still celebrate Christmas and Halloween and all that stuff. Like, no, like you just know about stuff, but you knowing about stuff is not really doing nothing in your inner man. You know what I'm saying? And it can only be that way when God revealed to you what you need to know that can actually, that He know will have a direct impact on how you walk out like the rest of your life serving Him. Everybody knows so much stuff, but it don't necessarily apply to how you serve Him. It's just a bunch of stuff I know. Like just like how people be in church. I know about a lot of church stuff, but yet I'm still not born again. I know what time service start. I know when it end. I know what the preacher's middle name is. I know about this. I know about that. I know about this. I know about that. But yet, still full of the devil. Stuff like that is what I seen growing up. Like before I became an adult. That's the reason why I had so many questions about the Bible that kind of, like let's just say, it just kind of ruined my interest in in Christ, right? Like it just kind of ruined my interest in having a biblical worldview, even though a part of a biblical worldview always stuck with me. I just couldn't necessarily dig in like that because it was my decision to start digging in for myself because I want to find God, right? It just didn't happen like that. I done seen too much fake Christianity, fake this, fake that in my life to where I just thought that all religion was fake. And truth be told, it really is. All religion really is fake. And that's why I tell people our Father in heaven is not interested in a religion. Christ did not come here to start a religion. The apostles did not go and preach the gospel of a religion. This is about relationship, sonship, servanthood. I was getting ready to say servantship, but like it's about everything but religion. Because when you think about religion, there's works involved, and that's about it. Like there's no faith, nothing. It's about what you do that make you closer to being a true devout member of this religion. Do you buy indulgences? Do you, like, do you take the Eucharist? Um, do you pay your tithes? Do you show up every Sunday on time? Do you talk in tongues? Just stuff like that. And look, I'm not against anything that have truth to it, such as speaking in tongues. I know speaking in tongues is a real thing. I'm not against anything that has truth to it. I'm just against it being used to lie to people about stuff. I'm just against it being used in a lying way. That's all. So when I started studying the book of Enoch, that was around the time my life came to I was in a bad position in life, real bad position. I never would have thought that would have been me, but it was. All right. Started studying the book of Enoch. I was so enamored with that book. I'm like, why is this book so addictive? And the reason it was because it was talking about things that I always wanted to know, not just about the Bible, right? It was honestly bringing me to a conclusion that I was looking for that had me looking into so many conspiracy theories. And like you can look into all the lies about the world we live in all day long. But eventually you're going to start saying to yourself, but why? Why? Like, what reason do they have to even be this evil behind closed door? Like, what's the point of all of these secret societies and all of this false religion and all of the evil that somebody else is putting on society? What's the real point of this? Like, what do anybody gain from that? In the book of Enoch, it really did answer a lot of questions. I'm like, I get it now. Now, a lot of those questions, it don't answer directly. It just what it do say, it start making sense and how you apply what it's saying based on what you already know. Like how it was talking about how the 200 angels on Mount Hermon all bound themselves together with a curse, that they will all agree to breed with mankind. And as they bred with mankind, they taught mankind all kind of wicked things, all kind of wicked deeds, and they sired a whole new race or a whole new breed of creature that became what we know as the demons. It's like it's just so much more to it. And I'm like, okay, that right there, that right there is what I was looking for. I didn't understand, okay, well, why is everybody so evil? Like, is it just Satan behind all of this, or is it more to it? Um, like it's just it's so much more that I needed to know. You know what I'm saying? And what that did was that began to make the Bible more interesting to me because I'm like, okay, now if this book is telling me all of this, I wonder what's really in the Bible because I had never studied the Bible. Never. The only book of the Bible I ever went over by myself more than once was the book of Revelation. Like the book of Revelation was a book that I liked recreationally. And that's before I even knew the Lord. Um, and so I would just ask myself, I wonder what is really in that Bible. Because if this book is that telling, I'm sure the Bible got so much more to say that I just been skipping past because I didn't know what it meant. But before I even got to studying the Bible, I was looking in the book of Enoch for like 3 months. 3 months. It was a whole summer. I was just going to bed and I would listen to the book of Enoch on audiobook. And then all of a sudden is when I finally woke up and the Lord finally spoke to me. That's how it all happened. Just like that. So it's a lot of things that we need to have in our understanding that not having it could be the reason why it could be the reason why we haven't received the gospel. Like, you know what I'm saying? So everybody and they, "Oh, just preach the gospel stuff, just preach the gospel stuff." It's like, I get what you're saying, but there is so much more truth that God want us to have that goes with our life in the gospel. Because if all you ever knew your whole 20, 30 years being saved was Jesus died for your sins, I'm not saying that that's not sufficient, but he want more for you than that. There are things that he called us to be in our life that we need to know. Like if you just know the gospel but don't know his commandments, like that's gonna have you outside the will of God. If you just know the gospel but don't know end time prophecy, that's gonna have you missing what's going on. And so, one of the things that he's been really clearing up, and just like I said, okay, I never really believed this after I got saved, and the reason I haven't was because it was put in my understanding that something was off with it, and if I am coming to the knowledge of truth that has never been told in a lot of churches, or at least not talked about enough, I'm sure that a lot of what we bank our eternal soul on, other than the gospel, has got to be something that need to be revisited. And that thing is what? The whole the whole thing about the pre-tribulation rapture, being left behind, not being left behind. Um just poofing up in the air to heaven, and then the rest of the world being left down here to go through hell, and then the antichrist show up, right? Because Hollywood have taught us this wrong. And I just recently got done making a video about it, but I wanted to talk about it on podcast format because I was the least bit prepared to even talk about the subject. It's just that because I had such a burning desire to want to talk about it, I just went on ahead and just said whatever I had to say. You know what I mean? But I want y'all to understand the concept of the pre-tribulation rapture started in like what, 1800, by a guy named John Darby. John Darby was he was the father of pre-trib rapture. And that's a doctrine of man that so many people are trusting God to do. Like you can't trust God to do anything that ain't true. If it's not true, your trust is in some other God, but it's not him. He said, "Those who worship me will worship me in spirit and in truth." You know how many worship songs tell false doctrine? And we sit back and think, oh, this is that praise and worship. And I'm like, but who are you worshiping? This is false doctrine. This song is false. All right, you know what? I can't say I didn't know that the world was crazy. I'm not even about to pretend like this is my first time finding this out. All right. Like, let me just go my way and act like I didn't just run into this. All right. But it's so many things that people hold God responsible for doing that is not even true. And it's not that it just ain't true. It's just that he got a whole nother thing he's going to do that was already written in his word that is just opposite of what they trusted God to do. And look, you can only trust God to keep his word, right? Like you can't trust God to move outside of his word. Like if you gonna trust God, let it be his word first. If you gonna trust God, let it be something that he already has in mind to do, because he know the end from the beginning. I mean, like you can have a bright idea and it might be new to you, but to him, he knew you was gonna have that idea. And yeah, like you might be able to trust him to help you through something like that. But When it come down to how he's going to work out end time prophecy, man, look, you just need to trust that he know what he doing, and how it is, how he plan to work it out is just how he gonna work it out. It ain't nothing that I can trust in that's gonna make him move outside the parameters of what he already gonna do in the first place. And you know how many people are banking their souls on poofing up into heaven and escaping even having to be here to even see the Antichrist? It's so many genuine so many good believers that believe this stuff, and they will make somebody like me sound like I'm teaching a false doctrine and I'm a dangerous dude that you need to stay away from, and I'm somebody that must not know God because I must not know what his words say. And all like people will slander my name up and down the street for saying this, y'all. And they will swear up and down that they're defending the faith and doing God a favor, doing God a service. And I know what I'm talking about. It's just that they don't. Why? Because they think about all the well meaning people in their lives who taught them this. Oh, so you mean to tell me my mother, who has passed away and she was a good mother, who taught me about the pre tribulation rapture, are you calling my mother a liar? It's like, no, I'm not calling your mother a liar. I'm just saying somebody lied to her. Are you saying my mother did not know what she's taught? Yes, that's precisely what I'm saying. A lot of people's mothers don't. Like, what make your mom special? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need to just take our feelings off of all the well-meaning preachers that taught us stuff that wasn't true. It's a lot of things that I did not want to receive or believe that God has been clearing up in my life because of well-meaning preachers that taught me stuff that wasn't true. And then God came around and is like, I'm gonna put my finger on that right there. And I'm like, oh, please don't. Dang, you mean to tell me? Now, if I was to then go and warn my fellow man about what you just showed me, and it's right here in the Bible too. I don't see how we missed this and got it backwards. Now, if I was to go warn my fellow man about this, they would say, you misinterpreting the word of God. And I'm like, I'm taking what it says, plain and clear. The pre-tribulation rapture is not in the Bible, plain and clear. Like, you cannot come up with a plain and clear scripture to say, this is how it must work out. It's something you got to make the Bible say that it don't say. It's something you got to take somebody's word for and then hold God responsible for doing. Like, you can't hold God responsible for what somebody else that you love taught you that you don't want to believe opposite, all because, like, you got a lot of respect for the person that told this to you. Well, if I was to believe this, that means I'm gonna have to question everything somebody tell me. That is exactly what I'm telling you to do. I would go back and question everything somebody has told you the Bible said that you never went and studied for yourself. All look, even the Bereans questioned what Apostle Paul was saying. They went back into the scriptures like, okay, let me see if you telling me the truth. The truth do not mind being questioned. Please question what I'm saying. That's why I be telling everybody. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments. At some point in time, I stopped deleting comments from naysayers and unbelievers and God haters and people like that because I'm like, I specifically said, if you have questions, leave them in the comments. For all I know, the only reason you believe lies is because nobody took the time to respond back to you with the answer. And I'm not going to be the person that's watching people in the comments, oh, the Bible is misleading because it was holy books before Jesus. Well, you want to know what? The scriptures was being written before Jesus. They had the law of Moses 2,000 years before Jesus. So it's not like the scriptures just came out when Jesus showed up. The only reason the Bible is misleading to you is because you want to be led opposite of the will of God. Like, that's the only reason why you can see the Bible is misleading, is because you want to be led somewhere else where God is not. And you call that good, like you still call good evil and evil good because of a lot of other lies you believe. And you ain't too good of a person to believe lies. Like, you can't have enough college degrees to believe like to just not believe lies. Like, you can't do enough research and all that other stuff to just not be able to believe a lie somewhere. And some of us got too many lies that make up what we believe. Some of us got too many lies that not even allow us to hear people that's telling us the honest to God truth. Just like that whole subject of the real biblical Israelites being black. Do y'all not know how many teachers that I had in my life that made up, pretty much the bulk of the foundation of all the things that I knew that a person can teach me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we need teachers in our life. And most of these teachers scoffed at the idea that the real biblical Israelites were black. Oh, that's a black Hebrew Israelite deception. Stay away from that deception. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. They are using it as a deception, but that don't make it a lie that Hebrews are actually what you know as African Americans. Like, that don't make that untrue. Like, it's just that they take the truth and they try and use it to put a bad taste in people's mouth so that way people scoff against it. And the devil did it just like that on purpose. So, about the pre-tribulation rapture, I just finished reading the book of Second Esdras. I don't know why I never read that entire book. Like, I would read bits and pieces of it, chapters here and there, but I never read it front to back. Except what, like today? And it didn't start today. Me reading the book of Esdras started the day when I came out with that video about how I was talking about the pre-tribulation rapture being a false doctrine. That's the day I first started reading the book of Esdras. And it seemed like everything God started revealing to me day by day, I later on that day started reading about a topic just like that in the book of Esdras. I'm like, this is crazy. Every time you reveal something else to me personally, later on that day or the next day, here it is being talked about in the book of Esdras. I'm like, this is insane. And I don't know if y'all understand the amount of preachers that's been telling me to stop reading the Apocrypha. Like, I understand that they mean well. Like, I understand that they believe that they're being a watchman on the wall and stuff like that. But it's a reason why the Apocrypha started in our King James Bible and they ended up taking it out. And what? Like, do you think that somebody was doing us a favor by taking it out? I don't think the world owe your knowledge of God any favors. I don't think they taking it out because they just trying to make sure you ain't deceived. It started in our Bible, in our 1611 King James Bible, and they eventually took it out. Do you think that's for no reason? Like even the Ethiopic Bible, the Bible that was in Ethiopia for a long time before America even existed, long time before we had a King James Bible. They had the book of Enoch in their Bible. First Enoch, second Enoch, and third Enoch, all of that stuff is made up. Like, and I know it's made up because it don't even sound like the same theme. Like the writer don't even sound the same. But they had the book of Enoch in their Bible. And you mean to tell me evil old mystery Babylon is the one that got the truth and everybody else believed the lie? I highly doubt we over here in evil, dirty, satanic America. And I hate to say it that way. I'm not trying to say that everybody in America is dirty, but America has played some dirty games, y'all. America was founded on Satanism and Freemasonry. And you mean to tell me we got the truth and everybody else believed the lie? I highly doubt that. I highly doubt we got more lies over here. There, all the believers in Guatemala, they see people resurrected from the dead. They see people lay their hands on the sick. They see demons being cast out, but we don't. All these millions of dollars that all these churches cost, and you don't see one spiritual gift happen there. Not one. All except somebody waving a sweater, and then the front row of everybody just fall down like the spirit moving. Like, come on, y'all. It's just time out to just quit playing. Like, get rid of all these religious lies. Like, for real. Like, don't go to hell with religious lies because you put them over and above the knowledge of God. And you got to sit there and face a God you don't know nothing about, swearing up and down you did. Oh, well, haven't we done many mighty works in your name? I never knew you, you worker of iniquity. Oh, well, didn't it say people that cast out demons gonna go to hell? Look, look, they only said they did. He didn't say they did. All he basically saying is that they said they did. And it's a lot of people that believe they really casting out demons. It's a lot of people that really believe that. Y'all ain't really casting out demons these days. All y'all doing is working them up. And I'm not saying you can't cast out demons these days. Like you really can. Like that's a real thing. And but don't sit back and believe that you really gonna see a lot of the gifts of the spirit operate in these I don't know, man, these Babylonian temples. Like for real. But let's go to the book of Esdras real quick. I wanna really sit back and make something clear to y'all. Like, you know how Hollywood has been preaching to us or has preached to us that whole theme of don't get left behind, don't get left behind, don't get left behind, don't get left behind. I want to show you something in the book of Esdras, okay? And I just seen this for the first time today. Just did. All right, so look, looking right here on Google. It's got an AI overview. It said in Second Esdras chapter 13, the phrase "Woe to those who are not left behind" refer to those who die before the great tribulation of the last days. It implies that while those who experience the tribulation will face great peril, those who die before it will be in an even worse state because they will not witness the revelation of the Messiah and the subsequent wonders. Okay, woe unto them that shall be woe unto them that shall be left behind in those days. Much more woe unto them that are not left behind. For they that were not left were in heaviness. For they that were not left were in All right, no, 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 no. Like, let me go and read this. All right, so we had 13, 13. And because it's like if you read that whole chapter, like you kind of get what he's trying to say. But those who make it through the great tribulation will actually witness the return of Christ. Those who make it through the great tribulation will be delivered throughout the entire thing. And it's always been told to you, if you do get left behind, it's because you didn't love God. Like man, it's just crazy. 13, 13, 13. Let go of your mortal thoughts, and you have ordered that you could neither. No, 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 no. And like, I wish I can just sit here and just read this whole thing, but I don't think we're going to have enough time for that today. 13. And many people came to him, of whom some were glad, some were sorrowful, and some of them were bound, and some brought others with offerings. Then I was sick through great fear, and I woke and said, You have shown your servant these wonders from the beginning, and have counted me worthy that you should receive my prayer. Now show me the interpretation of this dream also. For as I considered in my understanding, woe to those who are left in those days, and much more woe to those who are not left behind. But for those who are not left will be for those who are not left, will be grieved. Now I understand that which is laid up in the latter days, which shall come upon them, and to those who are not left behind. Therefore, they have come into great danger. Those who are not left behind, they have come into great danger and much distress, as these dreams declare. Yet it is better for he who is in danger to come to these than to pass out of the world as a cloud and not see that which shall come to be in the last days. Look, I don't know how come, why we never really took the time to just look into stuff like this. Okay, so like, let's just go to the Bible, right? I mean, because this ain't the only thing the book of Esdras did say regarding this topic. It's like ever since I've been talking about it, I've been seeing bits and pieces of stuff surrounding this whole topic in there, and stuff surrounding other topics like him gathering Israel from the four corners of the world and all of that other stuff. So all right, so let's go to the New Testament here. All right, 24:40. Matthew 24, but I ain't gonna start at 40. Take heed that no man deceive you. So this 24 verse 4. Take heed that no man deceive you. It's mostly deception happening in the last days. That is the number one sign of living in the end of the age is deception. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Here we go. I keep telling people, I truly believe that when the Antichrist appear, he is going to go by the name Jesus. Now I start to understand why a lot of people say to use his Hebrew name, so that way you can better understand, or like, so that way you can make a distinction between which Jesus you talking about. And because it seemed like these devil worshiping celebrities got a Jesus, the Roman Catholics got a Jesus, the Muslims got a Jesus, everybody else got a Jesus. I think we need to really start making it clear who we are referring to. All right. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that Ye be not troubled. Man, why am I reading King James? Y'all know I do not like King James. For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And so, how will you be delivered up and hated and killed for his name's sake if we supposed to be raptured out of here first? Oh, let me guess. He was talking about the people that get saved after the rapture, right? I wonder where you got that from, because it couldn't have been the Bible. All right. But let me go to another part here. Let's go, down closer to 40. For as in the days that were before the flood, For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken, the other left. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken, the other left. Watch therefore, for ye knew not what hour your Lord doth come. But know this, that if the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up. So all of that is something that I just read together, starting with, they should be eating, drinking, marrying, and giving in marriage, and they knew not which the flood came and took them all away. And then right after that, I didn't skip no verses, no chapters, no nothing. I didn't skip no parables. I didn't skip no sentences, no nothing. Two shall be grinding at the mill, one taken and one left. What make you think that one being taken and one being left is one being taken up to heaven and one being left here to suffer? No, 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 no. One was took over, overcome by the coming of the Son of Man. And that wasn't good, because those who were overcome by the flood clearly wasn't in a good position. You gotta really sit back and just make sense about this stuff, y'all. That whole ordeal about being left behind, that was a doctrine of man. But why, though? Why? Why? I still haven't yet put that together. Why would anybody come up with that? Why? There's always a reason somebody come up with something. That is still that's to be continued about why somebody will put that together. But just know this. I'm still telling you the truth about it. All because I didn't tell you what they were thinking when they came up with that deception don't mean that I ain't just clear it up as a deception. Being left behind is not going to be a bad thing. Yes, it's going to be a hard time, right? But being left behind, because he will come and destroy his enemies. He will come. And everybody's going to be at war against him. Everybody who ain't on his side is going to be led in a battle against him. If you continue reading the book of Esdras, just read the book of 2nd Esdras. Look, like I can't sit here and read you the whole thing, but just read it. Just read it. You would, especially toward the end, like after chapter 10. But the whole thing is action packed. The whole thing got a lot to say. Whole lot to say. Man, but all of them doctrines of men, all of that stuff, like I pray that at this time in your life, while things are happening, while there's wars going on, famines are getting ready to take place, like they've been warning y'all about the possibility of the economy collapsing and all this other stuff, nuclear war and all this other stuff, and everybody's still tending to their normal everyday lives and are not finding the Lord in the secret place and just wanting an understanding about things. This is not the time. There is no reason why he's waking us all up like this to come to to come to greater understandings about a lot of stuff. Not just hear the truth, right? Like not just kind of sort of believe it, but actually have proof of knowing it, right? He's waking a lot of people up for a reason. And I don't think that there's just one instance of you being woke up. Like, I believe a lot of parts of us need to be woke up. Just like I was saying in one of my other podcast episodes, I feel like I just woke up all over again. All over again. I feel like I just woke up for the first time, and this ain't the first time I woke up. First, I woke up to the reality of Christ. And then he continued to wake me up to a bunch of different things that I just kind of had hidden from my understanding. And this ain't about me. This is about you too. You need to have things cleared up in your understanding because you don't want to find yourself on the wrong side when end time prophecy is being fulfilled and you believe the will of God is the opposite of what God is actually doing. Like stuff like that is crazy. Like, do you know how many well-meaning preachers that I can't even listen to like that anymore, who honestly believe the Jews are the people in Israel right now? It's like a lot of Christian news I can't even hear no more. I don't even know how to click on this video and hear what you saying no more because every time you interpret what's going on in current events, you interpret that through the lens of those being God's chosen people. And so I'm gonna have to sit here and actually sit there and just be like, you know what? I cannot believe a lot of people do not see through this deception. It just make me so sad. People, it's so many honest men of God that are deceived. They really believe that Donald Trump is God's chosen man because he stands with God's chosen people. And you don't even know that that's the synagogue of Satan. When you honestly got real proof of knowing who those people really are, not just somebody told you, but something that can be proven to you. When you it's a reason they are not allowed to do ancestry stuff. Those people are the original people from Khazaria. The serpent seed from Khazar and I'm not saying but that those people were bred by Satan. Like that's not what I'm saying. But Satanism has been the religion of that culture from back before they eventually moved to Ukraine. Why do you think Russia is at war with Ukraine right now? Russia eventually, uh, look, it was Russia that destroyed Khazaria, and then they moved to Ukraine. It was Russia that made the Khazars decide, hey, like you got to choose between one of three Abrahamic religions. And then they converted to Judaism because they didn't want to be overtook by Russia. And then they knew that Russia was going to invade them anyway, and they moved to Ukraine. It's a lot of stuff that will start making sense as soon as you have the truth revealed to you. All of this time, a lot of us have been guilty of spreading false information in the name of God. Don't even know it. I had to apologize so bad. I'm like, I'm so sorry, y'all. I am. I really told you to keep those people in your prayers because they're the chosen people of God, even though they're just spiritually blind right now. Like, really believe that we should keep everybody in our prayers, honestly. Like, I'm not trying to say to take them out of your prayers, but like, you should probably take them out of the equation about what God says about Israel, because those are not the Israelites he's going to gather back to the nation. All of that stuff that happened in 1947, 1948, that wasn't what happened. Because we didn't get the whole prophecy fulfilled. That was all part of the same package deal. And like, it's so much more to that that I can't even say all in one video. Like, you gonna really have to sit back and just do your own research from somebody else that will specifically talk about that topic to you. I got a lot of other things to say to really just go down from start to finish and actually prove this to you. I don't really feel like going and, finding these books and all of these old articles and all of this stuff and all of these maps and all of this. Look, that right there is not my calling. All I'm trying to say is this: you better pray that God give you understanding on what the truth of stuff is, because so many people are about to be deceived by a false Jesus, all because of the lies they believe about Jesus. Oh, he's going to come and establish world peace between the Middle East. Actually, the Antichrist is going to do that. Yeah, he's going to establish world peace. That's after this whole, like that's after this whole showdown. If you got world peace pre Christ returning, if you got hope in that before he returned, you honestly got hope in Satan and you don't even know it. So many people are waiting on Jesus to appear and sit next to the Mahdi, the Muslim Mahdi, and establish peace between the Middle East, and the whole time is going to be the devil. And they real serious. They sound so emotional, and I just can't wait for this to happen. And it's like, you are deceived. So many people are rooting for Israel right now and don't even know that they serve the devil. Oh, I just pray for the peace of Jerusalem. They ain't even praying for their own peace. And I ain't trying to say not to pray for somebody's peace. There's always some innocent people somewhere, just like there's a lot of innocent people here in America, and our country serve the devil. Like, it's a lot of innocent people here who ain't got nothing to do with what our government be doing. I understand that, but still, don't sit back and believe the lies. Just don't. It's just time for a lot of this stuff to be cleared up in y'all's understanding. All these doctrines of men, all this content we consume, like from people who spread false information and don't even know that's what they doing. All these preachers we sit up under who will scoff at somebody like me for saying what I'm saying. And I understand what I'm saying is dangerous if you find comfort in your make-believe world. If your make-believe world is where you find your comfort, then of course what I'm saying is dangerous. Yeah, I mean, like, to you it is dangerous because you want to be comforted in your lies. But if you want to find your comfort in the truth, what I'm telling you is liberating. Because you feel confusion in your mind about a lot of stuff you've been seeing. Man, you mean to tell me they believe Donald Trump is God's chosen man? I believe that too, but yet I'm seeing him do all this evil stuff. It's like, so wait, is God evil then? Like, do he not know how to pick a good servant? Or I don't know. It's just something ain't right. I mean, yeah, it's like you got to try and make allowances for. Well, yeah, like, I know he ain't perfect and yada yada yada. And it's like, yeah, like that's true. But come on, man. The only reason you believe Donald Trump is God's chosen man is because you see how he's so closely tied with Israel and how he do them so many favors. If it wasn't for that, y'all wouldn't believe that. And y'all wouldn't believe none of it if it wasn't for the fact that you believe that that's real biblical Israel. Those are the people the book of Revelation was talking about when it was saying, I know the blasphemy of those who call themselves Jews and are not, but are a synagogue of Satan. It's those people, y'all. But no, I can't take that because too much of my theology is tied to this. And I don't want you unraveling the fabric of my being, right? Like that's what you really want to say, right? I got too many, like I have too many opportunities that I would lose in life if I dare stand on something like that. I have platforms I would lose. I have followers I would lose. Well, I ain't got that many followers yet. So like, like I don't mind standing on the truth. Like I ain't got 1 million subscribers to lose. So, hey, like let's just go for it. Like I don't got church buildings I'll lose. I don't got $1 million in the bank I'll lose. Like like I don't gain nothing from sitting here telling you a lie, and I'm not losing anything for telling you the truth. So I'm just firing off at the hip right now. Like I don't like you know what I'm saying? It just don't matter to me. Like, like I don't got a huge body of work that I'm gonna have to go back and renounce because I ain't been at this forever. I'm just a person that's highly convicted and he know his Lord. That's it. Like that's just it. Like that's all I got. So, but other than that, y'all, man, I hope y'all have a good rest of y'all day. I'm sorry I sound like a broken record these days, but this stuff need just as much exposure as how bad it was hitting. Honestly, it just really do. But I do want to thank few of y'all for actually just leaving some feedback in my video and stuff like that and liking the video and sharing it and everything. And I just pray that like we can get, like better ways of getting the truth out there because I I really need to get back on TikTok as much as I was, but I know TikTok gonna take stuff like this off. So it ain't no sense in even putting this on there, honestly. But yeah, like I do thank y'all for sticking by and actually taking the time to listen to what I'm saying before a lot of people start, you false prophet. You said Israel is of the devil. I said, no, that's not Israel. That's that's what I'm saying. That ain't Israel. So, like, unless you heard that part too, then, like, hey, but other than that, man, y'all have a good one. Peace.